Dave, last year, probably the interior defensive linemen were a bit of a question mark, and now they're looked as probably one of the stronger parts of the team. How do you kind of see those guys?
I think we got a lot of depth. I think there's a lot of competition. I think we've got interior people that can get knocked back and get separation and build a wall versus the run. I think the key for us is going to be the development at those 5 techniques and those edge rushers to get the pass rush we need when we have a 4-man rush. And I think we can all remember last year at times where some of that was a challenge, and so I think our ability to find techniques and positions and mismatches and ways that we can maximize that, I think, will be strong for us. And so the development so far in spring has been good, but I still think there's some to be desired there in terms of your 4-man pass rush.
When you have guys like that, though, inside, that really helps, doesn't it? I mean, the pass rush.
Well, you have push in the pocket. I think we've got guys that can put bone on bone, and we've got guys that can friction blocks, and guys that can get knockback on run plays, and then really, if we give the appearance of 5 on the line, and it's 5 for 5, and we can get push in the pocket. But I think, right now, if it was a 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9, there's some form of creeper or some form of pressure, and I just think, for us to be the team that we want to be and to achieve those things, we're going to have to find a way for a 4-man rush to kind of let loose and let go.
As good as Apu was, what can he do, or how can he make that next step, I guess?
I think for Apu, it's consistency, and it's off the field, driving what's happening on the field. And I think, Apu has leadership ability and leadership skill. And I think, when Apu talks, people listen to him because of how hard he works and the plays that he makes and everything. And I just think, he can be a guy in that position for us. And, I think, frankly, we need somebody like that. And so I just think his growth in just off the field, driving on the field, I think is way key.
Is Jackson still progressing really well? He had a lot of good things to say about him.
Yeah, he made a lot of great plays today. And so I continues, with knockback and continues with line movement, affecting plays and making plays. And so, he brings a good amount of energy. It's a good 1-2 punch with both Apu and him trading out. And then, we can move him around as well. Just his athletic ability, he can play some of those end spots.
What was your biggest takeaway from today's scrimmage?
So today was offensively, I thought we ran the ball really well. And so I thought, O-line wise came out and was really established the run early. And running backs falling forward and ball carriers, finishing runs. Receivers and tight ends were into that as well, because I think they took a cue from the run game, and that, hey, this is going to be physical, and so there was that. And I thought the defense had to, kind of get up off the mat and then respond, and which they did. But I thought, it was a very physical scrimmage with just over 90 some plays.
In those competitive situations, are you seeing guys start to take ownership in those competitions?
Starting to. I think, so much of it is like for us is the balance of being competitive, but then, having the maturity to not cross the line so that, your experience doesn't interfere with anyone, the team's experience of trying to do something hard and try to get over, try to accomplish a difficult goal in a difficult time in a difficult situation. And so I think in that phase, we're doing a good job, and I appreciate. It's much easier when it is competitive to just lash out and all of that. But then I think that's not the world we live in terms of games, and it's certainly not the world we want to live in terms of practice, because we're training for those games, and we're getting better with it.
Dave, you talked about that run game, really clicking early. With that offensive line, like everybody back, do you expect that to prove to maybe be one of the most dominant in the country, maybe even?
Well, I think the throw game has to continue to establish itself. Otherwise, we'll see 9-man boxes exclusively, and so I think you know there was some of that last year in the beginning of the year. I think I go back to the game in Stillwater, and so I think like the opportunity for us to continue to hone in on the finer details of the run game, and I think when you have some success and you have some confidence there, I think it takes discipline to continue to come back to the small, finer points and not drift off into, this adjustment or this addition, or, it's better to subtract than add when you're doing well. And then I think the other thing is the throw game is in run sets, right? Having the ability to either move the pocket with nakeds or to take shots is really going to force those safeties to have to play with some depth. Towards the end of last year, we had safeties at 7-8 yards, and so I can, with the way things are going now, you can see that coming again.